Welcome to my short presentation for retreats. Yoga and meditation retreats. Could that be your next step? We all have a dream in life. What is yours? My dream was always teaching retreats. But how do I get to that point? Hi, I'm Petra. I spent years stuck in old pain, negative beliefs, burnout, and feeling deeply disconnected from my life. At 38, 15 years into engineering and as a managing director, I realized I was no longer a victim of my circumstances. I had the power to change from within. Today, as an intuitive healer, a holistic life and business coach, I help women to reconnect with their desire, heal inner blocks, and create aligned lives and businesses with more purpose and abundance and fulfillment. Since 2009, I have guided over 30 retreats internationally, mainly in the Caribbean, Dominica, in Nicaragua, in the Bahamas, but also in Italy, in Europe. Because that's where all my passion of teaching, healing, and coaching comes together. The biggest obstacle to start organizing retreats is, of course, fear. I remember that I had so much fear about making deposits, not knowing how to fill the retreat, not knowing how to start organizing. And what if no one signs up? Will I end up with more debt? These are questions that hold most retreat leaders back to look deeper into it. And believe me, I have been there for many, many months before I really started looking deeper and organizing my first retreat. A retreat is so much more than just classes, it is an experience. And retreats matter so much for your clients. It is time to slow down, it is space for reflection, it is a deeper practice that your clients can receive in a week, and is, of course, community and connection. Let's pretend there was no fear. How would I start? I think there are three elements that are necessary to start with a retreat. First of all, it's a clear intention. What experience do you want participants to have? The second point is the strong organization. It's the logistics, it's the planning, it's also the finances. And the third one is holding the space for your clients. Creating a safe and supportive environment is what your clients need and that retreat. When we come to the intention, what is an intention? So it's like picking a title. It's especially deep reset and rest. The experience can be your participants leave feeling deeply rested and recharged. And the program might include gentle yoga, longer meditation, nature walks, lots of free time. It can be good for burnout, stress relief. So, if you have the intention, you can make it clear to your potential clients why this week is for them. Another intention can also be deepening meditation practice. The experience for your clients can be strengthen their meditation routine and learn new techniques. The program can include daily meditation sessions, silent periods, teaching or philosophy, journaling, and reflection. So, with this intention, your potential clients know why they should come to your retreat. For strong and practical organization, I recommend to look at these four main points. First of all, the location. Is it accessible? Is it inspiring? The environment. Would people like to be there? The second is the schedule. Pick your dates according to your audience. Balance practice and free time. Of course, important is food and accommodation. Is it comfort? Are you looking at the dietary needs? That is something your clients should know beforehand. And of course, the budget. What is your break even point? After having looked at location, schedule, food, and budget, how can we attract clients? Because, of course, we want to fill our retreats. So, what makes people book? People usually join because either they know you, the teacher, they trust you, or they are coming for the location. Maybe they have an idea of the atmosphere of the retreats, and that's what feels attractive. Or maybe it's a recommendation from past experiences, past clients. They bring friends. An important tip from my side is start promoting early, like 6 to 9 months before your retreat, even though people often decide at last minute. So you will see over the time that the budget is very important because you have to understand how to get enough money beforehand and not freaking out if people are not booking. There are often bookings at the end, but the promotion should start early. I usually add different activities into the week that I'm passionate about and that I feel can help my participants to get most out of it. When I'm close to the beach, a beach location, of course, water activities like swimming, whale watching, snorkeling, or kayaking can be involved. As I'm also an artist, I love adding painting workshops now. Hike of the region is often interesting for the people because then they also learn more about the region, the location, and that's sometimes the point why they are coming. The biggest mistake is underestimating the cost, and we end up with a deficit. Underestimating means you are working without earning anything. And many first time retreat leaders forget hidden costs. So be cautious with the transport cost, with yoga props that you probably need. Maybe they are at the retreat center, maybe you have to pay for that. Do you have an insurance? How much do you want to spend for marketing? Do you need an assistant? What is the cancellation risk? So the budget is really important to know beforehand. You don't want to underestimate. Make sure that with the host, everything is clear and written down. Which costs are involved? What is the deposit that you, the leader, need to pay to the host at a certain point beforehand? Of course, sometimes many, many months before. And make sure that you get enough clients to have enough deposit, which is the deposit you have to make for the location. You don't want to go into a risk, maybe pay a deposit of €10,000 and then you can't get it back in. That would be a huge deficit. But so make sure you get all the information from the host so that you can have a clear calculation for yourself. Put everything together, find out what is your deposit you need and make it non refundable so that you are not paying out of your own pocket. There are retreats between $200 and $10,000, even higher. You need to know who are you marketing to and how much do you want to earn. That needs to be in your calculation. Again, let's summarize the planning process. So you start with choosing the location, contacting the retreat owner, picking your time frame, also looking with the retreat location that they have the times available you want to come. Create a possible program, food options, and getting the budget together for that. Then the cost of the program comes together with everything that you would like to offer in that week. Maybe already putting hikes in, putting the transfer in from maybe the airport to the location. Make sure you know the costs and you put it together. at your own costs. Often people forget, oh, yeah, I also have to eat. I also am a person of this retreat. Make sure if the host asks you to pay or if your week is for free. Then calculate how many clients you need, for how many clients do you have space. Deposit and payment policy is important. Marketing and communication is important. Taking a deposit which is non refundable, I always recommend. Have maybe a payment plan together, talking to the clients to see if they are a good fit. That is sometimes necessary to understand, do I have a homogeneous group or is there a troublemaker? You want to avoid troublemakers. And maybe offer before and after sessions with your clients, maybe Zoom calls, so that they can already learn from each other, know who is coming. But that's just it's an option. What I found out, which are the 10 common mistakes to avoid. So let's say one point is not defining the retreat clearly. People don't know what you're offering, so people don't sign up. Choosing a location which is not very familiar or not very accessible. Underestimating the costs is a huge mistake. Overpacking the schedule. And I've seen it often that people come, and even though you already have a schedule, sometimes if there are more options in the retreat center, people are packing even more into their schedule. And day 2 or 3, they're totally exhausted. And they even start not coming to your program. So make sure that there is a balance in the schedule. Waiting too long to promote can be a mistake, and you're not getting enough people together. Not setting clear expectations is also something that can fire back. Trying to please everyone is a huge mistake. Make sure you have time in your retreat week to retreat for yourself, have your own room, get some time for yourself to resource yourself. A 24/7 job is really demanding. Be careful that you understand the group dynamics. That can be a lot of work. So this is why I often say maybe have calls with everyone before to make sure they are a good fit. Not planning the personal energy, as I said, is a mistake. And wanting to do everything alone can be really hard. So make sure you have support and maybe a good person from the host side, or maybe bring an assistant who can support you during the retreat week. The final message that I have for you: retreats are about experiences. And participants may forget the schedule, but they remember the emotions, how welcome they felt, the connections they made, and how they felt during the retreat. Believe me, the feeling is the most important thing in that retreat. You just create the space for the transformation, but you're not responsible for the transformation. Now it's up to you. Become a retreat leader. Each retreat is also a transformation space for yourself. Overcome the fear now and start planning. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. You can go to my website. There are also my retreats that are coming up, www.petrarackerbrand.com, or send me an email, p.rackerbrand@gmail.com. I wish you lots of luck and especially fun as a retreat leader. It's the best job ever. Thank you for listening and have the best retreats for yourself. Bye bye.